Hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the show this evening is the good, the bad and the ugly. How we doing, gentlemen? Southside, Big Stevie and Bridgeman.
All right, mate. I'm sure I'll go for the good while you're saying that. Good evening.
Dear.
All right, Trips, how you doing?
Big Stevie stuck with the bad then. All right, okay.
Good evening, lads. Good evening, listeners. And how's my old pal Bridgeman? Okay, mate.
Oh, can I just say a huge good evening to you guys in the panel here. Massive good evening to the guys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Good evening and welcome to a very happy Rangers Radio.
How we doing, boys? Stevie, go to Southside first, then come to your good self. Just want to get your thoughts on the weekend, Southside.
A big 3 points.
I don't weekend in general, I just mean the match.
Aye. A good 3 points, mate, obviously. That was the most important. I think we had some decent performances for some of the players. Don't think it was brilliant, but I think it was decent. But good to get the 3 points, mate. That was the most important thing for Saturday. But aye, there's a few good performances in there, which we'll probably discuss.
Mm-hmm. What about yourself, Stevie?
Aye, I think Southside summed it up lovely. There's a couple of wee, teething problems, wee niggly, wee daft mistakes, but apart from that, the end result was getting the 3 points, and we done a total better second half for me. The performance in the second half was like watching Rangers last year. As everybody keeps comparing us to last year, I thought this is well at the Rangers we've seen last year, a bit between their teeth and a good fight back. And 2 cracking headers, so I was well delighted in the left eye box.
And who's Sean for you, Stevie?
Big Lundstrom for me, and Balogun had not a bad game and all. I must admit, Balogun. We had you done as usual. He was kind of hot and cold.
You're breaking up there, Stevie. You're breaking up.
All right,
you're spot on, Stevie's at it.
I mentioned Hadji, so I get some gone right away, didn't it? Listen, before a ball was kicked, all the Bears would have took 2-1, I would say. Yeah. It was a real big game, top of the table clash.
Aye, and that's us 4 points good for them. Southsider, 4 points.
Aye, mate. Like we said, we were looking for a better performance, and I think we got bits and pieces during the game. I thought the same as what Stevie says, and I think Bridge covered that. Lundstrom, probably Balogun, were the 2 better ones. John Patterson, in and out the game, made some good decisions, made some bad decisions, but he's young and raw, so you expect that. But on the whole, mate, we've got to be happy that we got the 3 points, and it was good to see the manager at the end of the game on the park, fist pumping the crowd and that. He knew what it meant to him. I think there might have been a bit of relief in there as well. But he's a winner, mate, and that's what we like in our manager, So aye, a good 3 points, mate, definitely.
Before we open the phone lines and bring people in, I just want to ask you, did you see anybody in the opposition that caught your eye, that you thought, should we have took a punt on him, or did we miss the boat, or was there anybody there?
Will I go first?
Aye, go, Stevie.
Young boy Nisbet for me. I think with better players round about him, and maybe Mr. Gerrard, his coaching staff, maybe teaching him, I think he could become a far better player than what he is now. Aye, he's got potential, the young boy Nisbet.
All right, okay. Southside?
Aye, mate. I agree, Stevie. I've looked at Nisbet a few times. I think when he was at Raith Rovers a couple of years back, learning his trade, he was obviously a wee bit younger, and he scored goals every sort of week for them. And then he moved on to Dunfermline, and he scored goals there as well. And then Hibs have took a chance on him. Depending on the price talks, but I think it's somebody we could possibly look at. I think he's got good movement. He reads the game. Balogun struggled to win the ball in the air on Saturday in the first half against him. We won loads of high balls against Balogun. But I like him, mate, and I think in a good team, getting good chances, I think he knows where the goal is.
All right, aye, well, fair comments. I don't disagree with you. I mean, obviously, I think obviously, but you'd like to think we've had a look at him when he's been scoring goals with his club. That's with the scouts and players kick on, Stevie, at different times, didn't they?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I definitely think that we could make that boy a better player if we get him. As Southside touched on there, it's all about the price. We're not going to pay silly money for the boy, you know. Bridgeman would have fell off his seat at the thought that me and Southside are saying buy him off of Hibs, because, you know, Bridge will say he wouldn't want
exactly, yeah. Exactly.
He wouldn't want to give Hibs a penny, Bridgeman, you know.
No, I'm under no illusions about this. Hibs, for me, is just a huge no-no. They're looking for, allegedly, they're looking for something like £5 million for that boy.
Not a £5 million.
That's the two words out my mouth. Number one, he's definitely never a £5 million player. It took Balogun the best part of 20 minutes to try and work out what he was doing against him, and then he started to get on top of him and get the ball off him. But the Southside's right. First 20 minutes of the game, he hardly won a ball against them in the air. He did win a lot of balls on the ground, but once he got himself ready and he salted up again, and I think these are the turning points. Like Balogun, isn't he? A great game. He's been good, but he's not been great, and I think he's a better player than what he showed in the first 20 minutes, and he showed that for the rest of the game. He's a very good player. I don't like the boy Nisbet. I like it. Obviously, he's a talent and all the rest of it. People like him. I want to get him one brown copper coin.
Can I be controversial here?
Yeah.
Can I be controversial here? And you can shoot me down if you like. It's just my opinion. You think the boy Porteous could do a job for Rangers if he was taught, calm down, and he had a bit of, a wiser head run about him, you know what I mean?
Do you know who he reminds me? Do you know who Porteous reminds me? The way he tackles, and I know he wasn't maybe like Porteous, who at times can be an animal, for the want of a better word. He reminds me, he plays the game a bit like Alan McLaren.
Aye.
What do you think, Southside?
I can see a bit of similarities there. It's a bit rash. I think a lot of clubs have looked at him, Stevie. But I think a lot of them might have been put off because the way his disciplinary record's been a wee bit in some of his tackling. Maybe. I'm not sure, but I don't know. He could be worth a punt, mate, but Bridge will be collapsing now. That's 2 Hibs players we could put in the team.
Well, like the boy Porteous is all the things you've said there, all the negatives you just mentioned about him is absolutely true, and I think he's a major. He'd be a major hindrance to Rangers because if you get a player that's potentially going to get put red carded, then it's difficult. But when he comes from Hibs and he's playing at Rangers, you're 4 steps up because everybody's after you. Everybody. So he would be.
We're not saying sign them, Bridge. We're just saying that there's talent there. Yeah.
I don't see him doing any job that we've got guys that are better than him. Your 2 centre halves are better centre halves than him, for sure.
Aye. But he's young for that position,
Yeah, agreed with that.
Young for that position. All right, I think, Big Stevie, you've got some news in the upcoming social event, mate.
Aye, I believe that the charity night's completely and utterly sold out.
That's correct.
Absolutely fantastic. Sold out within a week. Absolutely brilliant, Ox. The people at Rangers Radio need to take a bow there. That's different gravy. That's absolutely fantastic. And the money they'll be raising for the 3 charities is unreal. So I think I can't wait. I really can't wait to meet everybody as well. It'll be a night to remember. And maybe that night we'll get Bridge to dig into his pocket and get a round done.
I don't know if it's that special occasion, but you never know.
That's unlikely, isn't it?
No,
it's highly. I think Rangers will get more chance of getting Porteous and Bridge buying a drink.
Listen, I think thanks to the Wee Rangers Club, who have donated the halties for 3. It's came about that they've gave us a hall now for 3, and thank them for all the support for ourselves and all the charities, Stevie.
I think Audrey and Andy, you can't. They people for years and years have been supporting the armed forces and everything else. It's a fantastic club, and if anybody's not a member of it, or they want to get in there every game, every home game it's opened, go and buy a wee Coca-Cola or a wee libation and help the club out and give them a wee bit of support back. And see the work that family do for different organisations, Rangers organisation, buses, unbelievable what they do. And thank them for what they've done for the charity Nighthawks.
Yeah. And we'll be mentioning them as we go on. Can I just give you an update in the B team game? We were 1 down to Cumbernauld Colts. It's now 1 each when we've equalised through Charlie McCann. Yeah. Right, okay. We'll get these lines open. Are you two ready?
Yep.
Yep.
Man. Get the man. Give us a bit of stick. We'll love it. Lap it up.
Okay, you never know who's going to phone in. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
It's
Right,
blue sea of Ibrox.
Some of you.
I'm just saying.
You couldn't wait 9 o'clock before you sing. You can't just randomly sing.
He's took his medication as well.
See, we try to put 2 Hibs players in our team does.
He's thinking, oh, we've been joined by we're all mucker Bob Gia. How we doing, Bob Gia?
Not too well, pal. Since I last spoke to you, I've lost my wife.
Oh dear, really sorry.
Goodness gracious.
But there you go. I mean, we've got to cling on to the one thing that keeps us going in everyday life, the Glasgow Rangers.
Listen,
anyway, nice to hear you all again. You all doing all right? Aye.
Listen, Bob. For everybody here, we send our condolences, our love and thoughts to you and your family, mate. We mean it heartfelt, mate. Yeah.
I know you do. We're all Blues brothers together.
Yeah.
There you go. It's nice to hear from you again. You'll be hearing from me a wee bit more regularly from now on.
All right, not a problem. We have missed you.
Anyway, we're no playing well, and we're still 6 points ahead of them, and we're top of the league. So just wait till we start to play well, and we'll be up and running, and I think we'll do it again.
I'll bring Southside down at a point. Southside, then Big Stevie.
Aye, Bob. I think you're right. I think we've spoken about it. I think the managers alluded to it, that we've been disjointed since the start of the season with injuries, suspensions, loads of different things, Bob Ger,
COVID.
Aye. But there's a wee chink of light on Sunday there, with the way the team performed. Just a pity we couldn't play again next week. So it's something we've probably got to look forward to for the Hearts game, that hopefully we'll maybe get a more complete performance against them. But like you say, Bob, we're top of that league, and that's what matters at the moment, looking down in the rest of them, and we're not playing well. We're probably not even been in second gear at certain times in games in the league, you know.
No.
But mate, top of the league, and that's what matters at the moment.
Well, I mean, he's not had a chance. Sorry.
No, you carry on, Bob. You carry on.
He's not had a chance of picking his best team yet. You've still got the 2 Ryans to come back. Hopefully Jack will come back fitter than ever, and Kent will come back fitter than ever. I don't think Kent
is it not the 3 Ryans?
Ryan Kent, Ryan Jack.
And Ryan Porteous for Bridge.
Oh.
With the shocker.
Aye. Hey,
Sorry.
By the way, Aribo seen him coming, and that could have been a shocker.
Aye, it was a red card, Bob. It's a red card there.
All day long, Ox. All day long. I said it at the time when I seen it. All day long. His backside was off the ground. Both his feet were up in the air. He could have really done Joe Aribo serious damage. He's got a history against Rangers.
Yeah. He done
involved
with Barisic and all, wasn't he?
It was Barisic at Easter Road, and Barisic jumped out the road at him and all. He could have done Barisic serious damage. Did he take Koulibaly and all?
Koulibaly, the first season, Gerrard's first season, aye. Yeah, still learning it going well. We'll see what it takes. I'm not really that interested unless he signs for us. But I can't see that, if I'm being honest, but we were just having a chat. Bob, obviously you've not been on for a while. We know that we've had players in and out. We've known consistency of selection. What's your thoughts on how we've not just clicked, mate?
Just exactly that, Ox, eh? Just an inconsistency of selection. And as you said, a lot of things like international breaks, COVID, fitness, what have you. But I'm convinced after this break, I think that the Rangers will click into gear and will go. I can see us winning this league with 15, 16 points this year. I don't, again, like we keep saying, I don't care what happens on the other side of the side. They're not as good as us. No danger.
No. 15, 16 points, that would do me, Big Stevie.
Oh, I think so.
Oh, aye, definitely. See, getting back to Bob's original point, Bob, I get back to, you're totally right, mate. We've not been playing great. We're 6 point clear of that mob. We're sitting at the top of the table. We're just a hard crowd to please. We have to be playing great football. We really have to. And it's a mixture of things as the three we can all agree on. You know, I just think we're getting into a rhythm, and there we go, international break. I think this international break, it's given us a chance to get people back, like Kent, maybe get Ryan Jack.
An advantage.
It's maybe gave us an advantage there again, but we're starting to get into our stride a wee bit there again. Was it an advantage? But look, lo and behold, it is what it is. But we are a hard crowd to please. We're sitting, I think that was one of the texts that Michael Beale put on. Come on, guys, close one and whatever.
47, mate. 47 games.
1 and 47. I mean, come on. Sometimes we need to stand back and have a real look at the bigger picture, you know, and put a bit of in the management team, you know.
Hey, I've got a question for you. Obviously, we cover the 60s with Bridgenite, 70s with Bob Jers, 80s with Southside, 90s with Stevie, and the 2000s with me. All our generations, right? So you've said we're a tough crowd to please. Has the support changed? Has the expectations got harder? Are you picking it up when you're at the Grun? You're going to the Grun, you're travelling to Grun. I'll start with Southside, then I'll go to Bridge.
I think we're judging, a lot of people are judging it on last season. You've got to take into context, last season what we done was a wonder season. It'll probably not happen again. Even in the past, we've not managed to do that in the league and stuff. So last season was a wonder season. Are we harder to please? I think we're always hard to please, mate. We always demand the best. We want the best. We expect the best. We don't always get it, obviously. So then we come out and we criticise. And when Michael Beale probably put that tweet out, and you look at it, one defeat, you know, at some record. But I just think a lot of people maybe just thought we'd carry on this season and done what we done last season. And that wasn't going to happen. Anybody that knew a game of football, I mean, you can't go that way undefeated another whole season. So to me, I think it was just last season what we done, and a lot of people are judging us straight away on this season, and that's where I think people are getting conflicted.
Boys, I think if it wasn't for a wee bit it's a good job for the rest of them. If it wasn't for a wee bit inconsistency, like we've been discussing tonight, this league could have been all but over. It could have been finished. If we'd have got a result up at Dundee, at Tannadice, if we'd have won that day, you were talking about 9 points in front of them, and they wouldn't make that up. Believe me, I'm totally confident in that statement. They wouldn't make that up. This league could have been all but over. But hey ho, that's where it is. We're in a good position. Press the advantage home, and let's do 56.
The point I'm making, Bob Jer, is the support changes their expectations.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think
that?
There's a complacency crept into the support ops?
I don't know if I would use the word complacency. I just think there's an expectation that there's only one team in the party, and unfortunately, there's always two teams. You know.
That's right. Aye. Anything you do, you've got to work your butt off for it. The season is still fresh. People are still up for it. Teams are still fresh. A lot of them, their squads are not playing as many games as real guys are. They're not in Europe. They're not playing internationals. They're still fresh every week, and they're tough to beat. And we've got to face this and turn around and beat these people like we do season after season. But you know, I think that's what it could be, and I think everybody is resting on maybe no resting on the laurels, but resting on the expectations of last season, where we won the league, and let's be face it was a canter. And I think they're expecting the same thing to happen again. And, well, it might not happen just as quick this year. But I do still think there will be quite a wee bit of a points margin at the end. That's my
Hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right. Stevie, then Bridge, has the support demands for the support changed? Expectation changed? I don't know. Do you feel it?
I know. I mean, we're Glasgow Rangers in the 90s. Everything we played for, we wanted to win. You know, I think as Southside said last year, they set the bar that high that this year was always going to be kind of a down the way, going backwards a wee bit. But I mean, that was a record-breaking season, really every way, amount of goals, points, everything. You know, so has it changed the expectation? I just think that, after the part, the fans obviously were everywhere, anywhere campaigning, you know what I mean? The attitude has changed that way. Oh, it's totally, Rangers have done a fantastic job that way, but as far as playing in the field and the fans getting in the field good factor and that, I just think the bar was set too high last year with a wonder season. This year we're kind of, but listen, Rangers could only lose this one game this season, and we'll still moan about it. You know what I mean? That's just too. We could get through this season with just one defeat, and we'll moan about that one defeat. You know what I mean? It would be spoke about. But it's a hard one, Ox. It really is a hard one. What do you think yourself, Ox? It's interesting to get your flip side. I'll tell you one thing: it can't be beat. The pie at Dens Park. Southside, how hot are they pies?
Aye, that was super duper microwave, wasn't it?
Aye. I walked by Southside and 4 pies, and see the time I go to my seat, only 2.
Who ate all the pies?
You guy next to me, mate.
Aye, right.
Right, Bridgeman, when you're at the game, and have you felt that the expectations changing for, say, we're talking 5 years ago? Do you feel there's a seed change, or do you just feel as if things are the same? What's your thoughts, mate?
Well, I think 5 years ago we were still suffering badly emotionally as well, and staggering about trying to get on our feet. Whole successions of crazy management decisions, changes here and changes there. I think since Gerrard came, the feeling that you had 15 years ago, where you wanted to see your team and you wanted to see your team winning, and we should be winning, and we're better than them. I know that's coming back. That's coming back big style. I mean, the lads around about me raging at some of our play, and then obviously even worse with some of the refereeing decisions that didn't go our way. That kind of thing, the things that you should have got, whether it's a man-to-man collision or whether it's just they've given the wrong decision, they've given the ball to them instead of us. All that feeling's coming back, and it sounds good. Sounds more positive. I think there's an expectation that Rangers are in a position now where they should be beating certain teams in the league, and we should be doing it easy. And when you look at the way we finished that game the weekend, admittedly against the 10 men, but we still finished really, really strong. The guys were really running themselves into the ground to try and do it, and they did it. And I think that the roar at the second goal tells you everything you want to know. The pleasure the Rangers fans took out of that because of the way things were going and how we don't like Hibs and so on and so forth. I think really the fans, a great expectation among the fans, and they're no giving club any excuses. They don't want any excuses to the club. Like, we're crap, get it sorted. That's where they feel.
Aye, but how can we help the team then? How can we help the team? Because we were all desperate to get back into Ibrox. We react to every bad throw. You hear the groans, you hear the moans, you hear how do we help the team then as supporters, Southside?
I think when we get to Ibrox, when things aren't going well, we've got to try and stick with the team. I'll be honest, if it wasn't for the UB mob in the corner down at the bottom of the Broom one, Ibrox sometimes would just be stone quiet. You know, it's hard. They generate an atmosphere in the stadium. So that's one thing where I'll criticise. But I'm the same. If I'm playing Livingston at Ibrox, I'm not going to be singing for 90 minutes. There's no, and I'll be honest about that. But there's certain games, obviously, when you're up and down for the games, like Hibs, Hearts, Aberdeen, Celtic and stuff like that at Ibrox, there's a better atmosphere. I think we've just got to stick with the teamworks. The players will hear the moans and the groans that they didn't get last season due to COVID and nobody been in the stadium. But they know the expectation, they know what our crowd is like, and I'm sure when we back them, I think away from home it's easier, because I think the support's a lot louder singing for the 90 minutes, the fans that travel. So I think away games for the players, they probably prefer it at times. At Ibrox, we've just got to try and stick with the teammate. That's what we've got to do when they're not playing well. We've just got to stick with it and try and not be too critical. But it does happen, and it's happened for numbers of years, mate. It'll never change. But
no, I get it. People are entitled to voice their frustration. You pay your money, you take your chance. But
I don't always see the point, mate, of going to Ibrox and just on and shouting abuse or moaning all the time at the team.
That's
you're there
not allowed to speak in the house.
But you want to go and try and support a team. We can talk amongst ourselves sometimes when things aren't going. It was like Saturday in the first half. We're thinking, how are we going to change this? We need to change something. And my wee mate, I was at the game, he says we should put another striker on, get Ruffo on, and we'll maybe make a difference. And sure enough, Stevie G done that, and it did make a difference. And then the atmosphere in the stadium changed,
Aye, okay. Stevie, how do we help the team? You go to the game with your boy, and obviously he would like that, but imagine if he'd his choice, he'd be on by the UB, wouldn't he?
Oh, aye, he'd be wanting to go in with a crazy crew and bounce about for 90 minutes. And Southside's totally right. If it wasn't for the boys, sometimes Ibrox would be a morgue. And you can hear the moans and groans. But look, when you pull the jersey on, sometimes the badge weighs too heavy for some players, I mean, there's a classic example. I came on the night and I said about a couple of stray passes here and there, but what I didn't talk about was the excellent 2 passes for the 2 assists for the 2 headers. Everybody talks about the things that we do wrong, but look, the only way I can see us doing anything for a team is just get behind them. When they go a goal down, just stick with them, get behind them, sing their songs, their names, their songs. You know what I mean? And get behind them, whether it's Borna or whatever that song goes like. Get behind them and sing it and just get behind them. That's all you can say, man. You can't really say anything else. There's nothing else is going to make them play better. That's down to them. But giving them criticism all the time for every wee daft thing that they do, that's no helping. That definitely does the help. For instance, nothing each and people booing at half time. That doesn't get us anywhere. That doesn't get us anywhere at all. You've just got to get behind them. It's as plain and simple as that.
All right. Bridge, you obviously like a sing song, as we know.
I like a sing song, all right. But you mean the fans singing?
Or getting behind the team and supporting the team,
yes. I think Southside's right. We said that about, was it Big Steve? Maybe both of them think the same thing. The likes of the UB, Union Bears, that they actually bring a lot out, and when they start singing a song, it reverberates around the stadium and everybody joins in. So they're a great rhythm, a great beat to the Rangers fans, and I love it. I just love it. I get up there and sing along with them, and when the bounce is round, I'm bouncing, no problem. We all love that. Absolutely. We do. It's just happiness, isn't it? You score a good goal, you're in the lead, you're winning, and your feelings are great, your emotions are high. And you think back to 10 years ago, my God Almighty, our feelings weren't that high. They were high enough, but not that high. And it's great to be sitting top of the league, 6 points. 6 points of 20.
Adversity maybe brings us stronger together. I just, Bob Jeremy, I mean, is it a generational thing, or is it the game sanitised? Before
there's always a faction of people that support every big club, expect too much. They expect every pass to go to your teammate, every tackle to be won, every attack to score a goal, to defend, never to lose a goal. Oh, it's a Cardinals fan. You've just got to remember it's simple. It's a game of football you're playing. Anything can happen. as the boys say, if you got a goal down, get the encouragement he done. Get behind the team, cheer the team, sing the songs, give them all the encouragement you can get. Because by God, I mean, there must be some pressure when you're running about there playing for Rangers or any big club for whatever. And these people need to change their attitude. If we do go a goal down, get the cheering going. It helps. Anything can help the team. That's as simple as that. And you're saying is it a generation thing? Well, I went up to, I first started going to Ibrox in the early 60s, and I heard the self-same thing, though. The self-thing, how people get on the team's back when things weren't going right. And it doesn't help.
Right, so what you're saying is, in a nutshell, that you don't think anything's really changed in that respect?
I wouldn't think so, no.
All right, okay.
There is a faction of people that are like that follow the club. Yeah.
Aye,
and it needs to change.
Yes, Stevie.
I think that was Gerrard, a bit of Gerrard's message when he ran on the park on Sunday and done what he did.
Mm-hmm.
I just think as a fact that the Rangers fans, we've got to use reverse psychology. If Bonner doesn't do something right, or any of the players don't do something right, sing his name. And when he makes a mistake, don't shout at him. Praise him, sing his name, and get the boy going again. That's all we've got to do as a support.
That was one of Bridges' favourite. There's only one Jim Denny.
Jim Denny. Oh, there's a blast for the past. Jim Denny. Oh, that's scintillating player.
Jim Denny played for Rangers, though.
Aye. Quite a few times as well. Times.
Yes, he did. Aye. I've seen his first game of that cup final replay at Hampden.
Jim Denny, my God.
Aye. And he played well that night, boy.
Actually, check how many games he played. You must have seen most of them south side.
I was just going to say, I don't remember ever seeing Jim Denny, mate. It was before my time. I was a wee boy.
He's never seen Dandy McLean.
I've just been poked in the eye with a nose, Stevie.
Dandy McLean, there's a name. There's a name and a half.
Oh, what?
Ox.
George McLean. Yes, mate.
See, getting back to, my God, I forgot. Who's the caller again?
Bob Ger.
See what Bob Ger said there about Gerrard. I think that was more for the fans rather than relief. I think that was letting him know, come on, get behind the team. Come on, you're a bit flat. I think he was using reverse psychology on us. I think he was riling us, getting us going again. Come on, man. You know, we're top of the league here. And it was, but I mean, the first half we were all down in the dumps, you know, and we're looking at it, all right, they weren't playing great, but see him showing his passion. I think that was him saying to the Rangers crowd, come on, give something back here. I'm going to use it. Now you give us it. Get behind us. Because Beale mentioned it, and then he's come onto the park and done that. So obviously the management are talking about maybe the fans are a wee bit flat here. We'll get them gone. You know what I mean? So that's the flip side of the coin. He's getting us going, we get the team going. And that's how it works. We're a big team together for top to bottom. And we just need to get behind them when they're not doing well.
You're here. Jim Denny, 68 games, 53 starts, 15 sub, obviously. No goals, no yellow cards, no red cards. You're right, Bob Ger made his debut in 1971, Scottish Cup final.
Aye.
Yeah.
Replay.
Yep.
Jim Denny.
That was his first and only game that season, yeah.
Well, as I say, game of the season.
Aye. And went on to play right up to 1976, 77. Still played some games in 78, 79. Yeah.
Transfer to Hearts.
Aye, but he was based for quite a number of years. So, aye. Yeah, but aye. The game was different. All right. So you mentioned that the two mentioned that you're up at Dundee together, and I think Barry Albert, who couldn't make the game for a personal reason, I think everybody for the show, bar me and Fox, were there at the game on Sunday. So you mentioned the away games to Dundee. Because we get the 2 years on tonight, we want to talk about that briefly as well. Is there a Chinese dynamic in the travelling support since, say, the hedge at Brecon, Southside?
Aye, obviously you've got the younger element in their 20s, 23, 24-year-olds. You've got to remember they were following the team a few years back, and it wasn't great times, like we've said. And then we got Stevie G in, and we got a bit of expectation back and a bit of professionalism back in the club. And then we managed to win the league last season. There's a different type of support going. I've seen a younger element going myself. I see some of the younger faces that I've seen over the last few years. And they're vocal, mate. They're passionate, same as us when we're going. We're just that wee bit older. We've seen the good times, the bad times, so we know what to expect at times. But we still want to see Rangers win every week. But we had a good time up at Dundee, Stevie, didn't we? On the way up, it was pretty lively, as you can tell. And mate, the support away from him, I think, it's more vocal, obviously. And it's a good wee group. You usually see the same faces over the years, but maybe this year with the allocations and stuff, that will change. And I think we'll all have to sort of scramble for tickets this season, at certain venues.
I think you'll end up with 90% of the people getting 90% of the tickets, as you always do, mate, if I'm being honest.
Well, well, hopefully. We'll keep getting the tickets for the away games.
That's the way it usually happens. Stevie, obviously you go sometimes, obviously you were with your step boy there. Sometimes you take your real boy with you. Have you seen a change since, as I said, Brechin?
For me, what we've got to remember is most of that young team never seen Rangers getting any silverware for years and years and years. And all of a sudden they get a taste of it there. And they're viciously wanting more of that, like Sabi, Southside, and all the boys here in the panel, we've seen Rangers lifting all sorts, year after year. I mean, we used to give the Tariels a goal at start and knew you were going to beat them, you know what I mean? But how things have changed. But we've went for, obviously, the heads, as you said, no winning nothing for years. Them being kind of dominant eras coming back for a dark place. All the young team haven't really seen. When I told my boys, son, we were beating them for fun. This is going to change. I'll tell you, I've never seen my boy more dejected in that League Cup final when we pounded them into the ground and they get that offside goal. See, going back to the motor, man, I honestly, the wind was just out his sails. I'll never forget that. And I told him, I sat him in the motor and I said, son, this is going to change. We're going to come back to what we are. So see, the young team these days, they're wanting more. They're more bitter and more angry, and they're wanting more and more. And the Rangers are coming good for a young team again. But we had a great time up in Dundee. I've had a great time all season travelling away up to Ross County, and I met Southside up there and Dundee with them there. And, I mean, even the buses do have changed. Curtains on a bus. My God, man, things have changed. Absolutely.
You don't have curtains in your house, do you?
Curtains on a bus, man. I was like, what is this? That's a Hamilton toilet. Oh, toilet paper. What's going on? Aye, absolutely brilliant. But going to see Rangers.
4-ply Southside, 4-ply toilet paper.
Oh, aye, and a hand dryer as well.
And a hand dryer. Brilliant.
Aye.
Unbelievable.
Even got a wee tune that he likes as well, didn't you, Stevie?
You know that things haven't really changed.
Aye, but Southside's right, Ox. See, the way support's more vocal, well, they'll sing for 90 minutes. 110%, they'll sing and dance. And
is that because everybody's together with their mates rather than everybody scattered all over the stadium?
Well, that's one of the things that maybe Bob Ger, Bridgeman and yourself might see the days you were stoning. You could go along and stone with your pals and the boys for your area, and it made it maybe a better atmosphere because you were with all your pals, you're hyperactive, and everybody split up in Ibrox now. We've got to remember that too, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's like we had to leave the seats with my pal Alex Smiddy and Graham and that to get a season ticket with my wee boy in the Copeland. And that's us split up then, instead of the sixes being together, you've got 4 over there and 2 over there, which if the sixes were together, you're more rowdy, aren't you? You know what I mean? But anyway, that's just how I see it.
It's a hard puzzle to solve, Bridgeman, isn't it?
Absolutely, pal. Absolutely. Just on because we're talking about the fans, I saw a snippet that the joint support group, or joint whatever group it was, have said that there'll be no more red zones. They're getting scrapped. I don't know whether it's this week or at the end of next week. And that opens the gates for the
away
fans. Yeah. So that might open up a few. I do hope, as far as them across the city, I really do hope that we keep it the same. Now, I don't want any of the fans in Ibrox. I just don't want them. Ibrox is a far better place without them. I have to say that.
Don't worry about it, Bridge. We keep winning, and nobody any of them turning up.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. No, but it's really good that that's the ending. That kind of stuff's the ending, and let's get back to a wee bit of normality. Not normality, but get back to a wee bit of normality. It's really good. I'm looking forward to that, Barry. Looking forward.
Here. Aye. Well, yes.
Fox, that's a question, maybe Southside and that as well. Will we ever get a standing area in Ibrox?
I think it'll come if the ground's redeveloped and it becomes more fashionable. I think there's a lot of talk about it in the English League. I don't know if you've got any thoughts, Bob J.
I think you may do in time. I couldn't exactly say where. Maybe in the corner of the Broom Lawn where all that young team are. They might prefer it that way. I've seen the transformation, like we all have, for the old stadium into the old seated stadium. Wally Waddell's dream was an old seated stadium, and I found it when you first started going to Ibrox and it was all seated. You felt individualised. Take my point. Whereas in the old stadium, you could, as the boys are saying, you could stand with your mates. You could even have a drink of a can of beer at the time. But I'm not. I know, and you'll mind the old 1970s terrace, and some of the atmospheres were great. They were brilliant, but it changed. And now it's a wee bit, as you say, it's sophisticated. A bus with curtains, toilet paper, what have you. But times change, and I feel when you were sitting in the new stadium on the seats that you were individualised, and it did drain away quite a bit of the atmosphere. Would you agree with that? Yeah.
I think so. Because you stand out there when you're sitting. You're sitting.
Aye, you do. You're fearing in case Mr. Plod comes along and loves you or supporting your team.
Aye.
I think it would create a better atmosphere at Ibrox if you had a standing area too. If it meant a couple of sections away.
I think it would need to be ground redevelopment, mate. Yeah.
My opinion on it, just my personal opinion, is I want the stadium to stay the way it is. It was built for the reason, for the memory of the people, and we said we would never have another disaster at Ibrox. Now, I'm not saying that standing and that. I know the young mob standing at the seats and that, and they jump about, and I don't mind that. But I just, probably, for me personally, I just like Ibrox to stay seated. But that's just my own personal opinion.
You'll never see an all-terrace and stadium again in any of the leagues.
Well, we had the East and West enclosure. That was all standing, wasn't it? So, and that gave the people
that didn't
want to sit down. That gave the people that didn't want to, the young team that don't want to sit down, they want to stand. Let's be honest, when you go away, you're standing. The seats are there, but you're standing. I just thought it might be a better atmosphere if you had a standing area in Ibrox. It might create that wee bit more atmosphere for people, the guys that want to stand up.
I don't see how it would work the snow unless you redevelop the ground,
you'd need to move the people somewhere to get that full bit. You're totally right. It would need to be sorted out first before you could do it. But there must be people on it. There's hundreds of people would love to stand at the game.
We'll see what it takes.
There's hundreds do it anyway.
I'm saying.
I've seen folk playing for when you're standing at the game. Take my point.
Good point made, Bob. Yeah.
The greatest player I've ever seen stood at the game, Jim Baxter. He didn't run about daft. Anyway, I'm going to sign off, boys, and thanks very much. It's great to hear you again.
Once again, all our thoughts are with you, Bob. And
I know, Bob.
Great to
Certainly,
I know. Hey, I'll be back a bit more regular. You all take care for the moment.
Cheers, Bob.
We are the people. Bye-bye.
Good night, Bob.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Bob.
Good to hear from Bob J. We knew he was going through, and it was up to him where he let people know, yeah.
Really
but
sad.
obviously,
Really sad.
one of the good guys here, Bob Gia, Southside.
Aye, mate, it's sad news, but I'm sure he'll get on with it and keep his chin up. And if he's ever feeling a bit down, he can certainly come on here and have a chat with the boys. It's always good to hear Bob Gia on, and he's been missing for a wee while. So, aye, great to have him back, mate.
Here. All our thoughts once again. We are Bob Gia, yeah, because we are a wee community, Steve, here.
100%. If I rent we could do for the guy, all he's got to do is offline and just give us a wee call, and we're there for him. But I'll tell you what great knowledge he's got in the All Rangers teams. As soon as you mentioned that guy, he could tell you who he went to and where he came from, his first game and everything. Absolutely fantastic. His knowledge is second to none.
Here, mate. Here. For anybody just joining us in the last, since we missed the start of the show, just to let you know that we're charity race night next year is sold out. Southside.
Aye, it's absolutely fabulous news. So it's great. Good to see you two sell 10 tickets between you. But aye, mate, absolutely brilliant news, and I'm sure it'll be a cracking night when we get there in March.
All his mates are coming. Stevie, we've ordered a telephone box for him.
Deary me, man. Unbelievable. I hope that before they come. I'll tell you that right now. I've seen some of them. But anyway, no. Listen, it's fantastic for everybody. That's sold out within a week. I keep saying it. And Oxford, you're going to play it down, but well done to yourself, pal. You and Foxy and the guys in the background. Absolutely fantastic. And I'm sure Southside will agree with me when I'm saying that.
Aye, mate, 100%.
No me, mate. Everybody that's involved, everybody's done their bit, mate. Terry, Fox, yourselves, Bridgeman, Young Port Bear, GB, everybody's been involved and done a wee bit. So it's a team effort. And your two good selves as well. And the boss. And the boss. And the Mitchell sisters. And the boss who will remain the boss who will remain nameless. The boss.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Aye, okay. Aye. But aye. Well, we're talking about the fans and we're talking about Ibrox and we get it. You're playing Livingston, as you said, Southside. It's end of November. You're 2-0 up at half time. It's absolutely Baltic. It's get dark. It's not going to get you. It's not going to get your juices flowing, is it?
No, mate. It Disney, and you've got to be honest. I mean, you're sitting there, you're 2-0 up. You're just wanting to see the game out, score more goals. You'll enjoy that. But you're not going to be jumping about like a linny for 90 minutes. But in fairness, the UB mob day, and that's the difference, mate.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
For the nights when it is quiet, you know it's going to be quiet. And that mob in the corners jumping about singing the songs and trying to get everybody going. And then again, you probably do join in. Sometimes where I sit, a lot of boys will join in eventually. It might just start to ripple in and you think, oh, here, let's go. Somebody next to you, a couple start singing and you end up joining in. But the nights are probably hard. But Ibrox has always been like that, mate. That's why I've said, I think when you travel away from home, the support's more vociferous than that. They're singing for 90 minutes. You've made the journey up there, maybe had a few sherbets, and then you look forward to the game. And I've always found the away support different to the home support,
Mm-hmm. But then, yes, mate.
Just well, Southside's talking about the UB. Can I just personally thank Big Ross that stood down the capo they call him, that stood down there at the weekend, his last game. I'd like to thank him personally for see that display done along of Clyde and all the boys done and some of the stuff and the energy that big boy's put in. Thanks very much, Ross. You make Ibrox a lot better place to be with you and your troops in there. But the big man's geared up the ghost there through personal reasons, but the big man was absolutely brilliant. Anytime I seen him, the energy and everything they've done for the UB and everything he's done for the Rangers support, thanks very much. Brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Aye. Well, listen, you never know. We've got some people try to contact Ross on Twitter. Maybe try and get him on and have a wee chat with him, mate. Yeah.
That would be great. That would be fantastic.
You never know. We never know. I don't know him personally, but some of the boys are talking to him on Twitter.
There's some of the questions you're asking us. It would be good to ask him that, the feeling of the
what his thoughts are. And obviously, they talk like everybody else talks, because of the 20 odd years of age. They've got their own ideas, their own thoughts, their own ambitions with the club and what they would like to see happen, mate, yeah?
Aye, 100%. But once again, well done to the UB and Big Ross.
Yeah.
Thanks for everything you put in.
Here, Stevie.
Aye, here. Bridgeman, I think you just missed out on being the El Capo, didn't you?
El Capo.
El Chapo, Bill, like it.
Aye, in Mexico, he was El Capo.
Trump Chapo.
Wow. They're very cruel to me tonight, guys. See that?
The Godfather of Rangers.
Godfather, yeah.
Yeah, aye.
But, it was really good on Saturday there. I bumped into Big Stevie and bumped into a few other guys and then got up to the new bistro area. I'm longing for the new bistro to be inside the new Edgeworth house. That would be great. Fantastic. I hope my old buddy Foxy comes back. He's not feeling that great at the moment, but I hope he comes back because
nice you say that. You say that he's not feeling great, right? When he usually gets a haircut and all done up, what does that usually mean, Bridge?
It's just going to. I nearly spelt it out there.
There's usually somebody on the horizon, isn't there? What happened today? He's all done up like nobody's business.
You're joking.
Nope. So, he's feeling a lot better. Let's just say his dance card is fully booked. Southside.
Oh, well, he'll be top of it.
A bit chippy, cheap.
Aye, definitely.
Yes. He's made more comebacks than Frank Sinatra, Stevie.
That whole blue eyes himself, huh? Aye. They don't call him the Fox or nothing. Just let me tell you. Might miss the odd game, but he never misses the Savoy, that's for sure.
He's just posted a few words.
I just seen that.
I missed it as usual. Anyway, remember it's a family show.
By the way, I've just seen what you wrote. That's terrible, Foxy. Get a grip. I don't know who he was meaning. Oh, dear. He does make me laugh. He's some man. Everything's an adventure with a Fox. Everything. Right, okay. We're going to touch on, we're going to build up to the tune, and obviously we've touched quickly on Ibrox, we've touched quickly on the away support, and obviously we've got the European games coming off. We know that you've been occasionally, Stevie, and some of your good pals go on Southside. You're a vet. Bridgeman's is a vet. What was it? Arnhem first and then D-Day. And I think you done Gallipoli as well, didn't you?
The song?
But obviously things have changed. When you go back in the day, Southside, everybody went in supporters buses to away trips, 4 days, 2 to get there, game, then a day back. And things have changed. People are flying in and out. Is there a difference in the away support European ties?
Aye, well, the ones that certainly don't go in the buses. I can remember washing, cleaning my teeth with a bottle of Miller. One of the trips, but aye, the days when you left the Monday or the Tuesday, your trip down to Dover, and then your wee trip on the ferry, and then after that it was a matter of how many hours. Some were 14, some were 20 once you come off the ferry at the other end. Nowadays, mate, people did fly sometimes as well, obviously, but the bus trips was good trips, mate. All the boys all went together. A lot of the trips, it was always the same boys. Now and again, you get a wee mixture. We used to get Corby boys and that, and boys from Hamilton, Burnbank used to travel quite a lot ways and that. So it was always the sort of same crowd. But it was an experience, mate, to go and do the bus trip. Toilet overflowing by Carlisle or something like that, back in the day. But you done the trip, and you come back, and it it was the norm, mate, because the buses would just normally travel everywhere. I mean, there's boys been Boa Vista and all that on the buses, and that was bits of trips back then in the day. But nowadays, a lot of people will try and fly. Flights are a lot cheaper, and it's a bit easier to get about now, isn't it? So
Well,
that's
it was.
it was, aye.
Yeah.
But there'll probably not be so many buses now travelling to Europe. You know, that's a sad fact. A lot of people, probably the younger generation as well, probably haven't done many a bus trip. You know, guys sometimes will do it once and think, I'm not doing that again, you know. But back in the day, it was the normal way of travelling, and that was the way you done it, you know. And it was enjoyable, mate. It was a laugh, and that was the thing. A lot of people might hang off 3 days in a bus or something like that, but honestly, mate, it was some laugh, you know.
I think Bridges' first trip, Reg Varney was the driver. Bridge, you there?
Okay, yeah. The carry stop laughing. That one's quite good. Well done. That was a good one. Reg Varney, brilliant. Oh my God.
I changed days. Obviously the cheap flights are maybe changed at Southside, where people maybe carry it a week after work, etc. Can they, you know?
Aye, I mean, one of that trip to Scoopsy, for talking's sake, that was 18 hours to get there, you know, and that was using flights, you know what I mean? But it still took 18 hours. So, aye, things have changed, obviously. A lot of people, I've seen some people be talking about the bus trips and that. They were enjoyable, mate, back then. A wee bit older now, so I do tend to take the flight. I would do a bus trip. I'll be honest, I would do another bus trip as long as it wasn't more than probably 10 hours after Cali. So I might get to north of Germany. Maybe if we got a German team were on the bus, I might do that. Amsterdam's no bad in that. But any further than that, no, mate, it's a flight for me.
Oh, he's too posh to pull now, Stevie, isn't he?
He's a changed man. I mean, he's fine drink and everything now, so and everything on the bus. Brilliant up Southside.
And hanging about the West End. He's hanging about the West End now.
Aye, I heard that, yes, in the Windsor and everything. He's get spied on. Listen, Southside, what was your longest ever trip? What's been your longest trip on a bus?
89 in a circle.
The number 9 drum chapel, Paul.
I would have got a drum chapel, Stevie. Can't think now. There's Marseille was quite a long one when we done the bus, because I think that was about 14 hours after we come off at Cali. There'll be, what was the one? Who did that Siebel play for again? Remember? Who was that, Mob?
He played for Vienna, wasn't it? One of the Vienna teams.
No, it was a Slovakian team or something we played earlier. Done the bus trip to that. That was a bit of a journey, Stevie. No, that was close to 30 hours or something.
Right, get yourselves a mute, you two, and we'll come back to you, because we're going to have a tune.
Rangers, easy okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. Football is the game that we play all over the world. Rangers, easy okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. We can show the world how to play, for we are Rangers, okay. Won't you come and cheer us? Help the boys along. White and blue, coming through with a song. Oh, Rangers, easy okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. Football is the game that we play all over the world. Rangers, easy okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. We can show the world how to play, for we are Rangers, okay. we can, oh Rangers, win the cup, hold it up in our hand. Oh Rangers, Rangers, easy okay. Look out everyone, we're on our way. Football is the game that we play all over the world. Rangers, Rangers, easy okay. Look out everyone, we're on our way. We can show the world how to play, for we are Rangers okay.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
We are Rangers, okay. Hey, hey.
Mr. Rich Kipper's been in touch and said it wasn't the Ridge family, it was Ben Hur that drove the bus to
Ben Hur? What? That's shocking, you lot, I'll tell you. Shocker.
All right. Okay. All right. Aye. Great memories, some of the trips. And it's these things that make supporting the team in it. Buses, trips. When you think back the day, it could take you in 5 to 7 hours just to get up to Aberdeen, Stevie.
Aye. Everything's changed, isn't it? The roads are wider and the buses are better. Times are coming down, travelling, And the way to go now for a European campaign is, yourself, I know Jim's the same as Southside. He's got hundreds of European campaigns under his belt. He loves to just fly in, go to the square, couple of pints, something to eat, go to the game and fly back. He swears that's the way to do it now,
It's not the only thing he does when he's away, but is it?
No, indeed it is not. The man will need to defend his honour and come on.
We're not getting involved in that. This is a family show.
I'll tell you what, how good would it be to get Southside and Jimmiger and hammer them, the two of them, about European adventures? That'd be a great show that night.
It would be, but I'll tell you what, there'd only be one person getting the hammer.
Full Southside.
No, I'm talking about you.
I know. The two of them would give me it. I know, that wouldn't be there. But listen, no, you're totally right. Listen, I love getting away with Rangers. I must admit, it's a whole. Everything's something different happens every trip. It's brilliant, And that last one there was Southside, and I met some of the boys in his bus. It was fantastic. It was just great. It was something different for me. Going on the bus. The bus was excellent, well ran, and we had a great wee day up there, Southside at the castle, and then into the Grun, and then up in Inverness was good. I know, a trip up there with Jim and all the old hands and that motor, and the stories they tell you, I mean, absolutely brilliant, man. Brilliant. It's in the blood, isn't it? It's in the blood.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll be joined by Alex Kelly. Evening, Alex.
Good evening, Ox. Stevie, Southside, Bridgeman. How we doing, boys?
Alex, how
you doing, Alex?
Yeah, fine. Listen, just wanted to say to Bob here, heart goes out to you, pal. Sorry to hear about your sad news, but it's good to hear you back on the station again. You've been missed.
Well said, Alex. Well said.
Oh,
yeah. Good chat tonight again, guys. Some funny moments. I've got a wee question for the panel, though, if I can put it to you.
All right, but just between me and you, don't make it too hard if you look to them. Right, carry on.
Here, Alex, you're dealing with the SAS tonight, Southside and Stevie.
And who dares wins?
There's always a downside to that. We've got Dad's Army, Ox and Bridge.
Bridge, don't worry about it. They don't like Album. Right, you go, Alex.
You've not got Port Bear, though, eh? Don't tell him, Pike.
Oh, don't tell your name, Pike.
Boy.
Oh,
you silly boy. Port Bear. You silly boy.
We were reminiscing a wee bit there about the 60s and the 70s and the European games and brilliant runs that Rangers used to have. A simple question: has money ruined football?
Oh. Right, okay, we'll start. Well, me, Southside, and Stevie don't know, but I'll pass you to our money expert, Bridgeman.
Yeah, it has. It has. It's created major divisions with certain countries throughout Europe, and you're left with what maybe the top six, similar to the structure in the English Premier League, actually, where you get top six teams and the rest don't really matter. And every now and again, there'll be a change. It doesn't happen very often. So you've got basically top six leagues in Europe probably getting what 90% of the money between them.
What have you got? England, France, Italy, Germany, Spain. That's about it, really. 5, innit?
Yep.
Yeah, but
Now
I
it's
get
so
your
we have 5 or 6 countries that
I get your
they'll
point,
get the money.
They're a big TV audiences. That's as simple as that, unfortunately. Aye, okay. Aye, Southside.
Stevie, on the answer to that question, that Media Bratislava, that's who it was. That first trip was a killer. Money, aye, certainly ruined it. Some of the wages that they're paying out, and I think TV as well, Ox, has ruined it as well. You know.
And what respect, mate? What respect?
I think the way they just TV times, obviously, when they're getting us to play at certain times. I know money's going to take them into football, and a lot of clubs are going to take the money, but I know they can't live off season ticket money, but TV coverage, I think, has ruined it for the ordinary fan that wants to travel most of the games and even go to Ibrox. You're getting Sundays and Saturdays and Fridays. When you hardly get a Saturday game at 3 o'clock, to be honest now. So it's something we'll probably get used to. But I think the wages that they're paying players down south and that, it's just astronomical, and it's just killing the game, mate. It's no fair for us and everybody else as well. Plus, the money you get for winning the league up here. So I suppose TV money comes into it, but we're not getting that much up here. So for us to compete in the market against other teams, it's just unfair. And you look at the state of the Champions League and the European setup that they've got as well. So it's sort of ruined the game, but it's something that's probably important for the game, for clubs to survive.
Do they have to survive because they need all that because they're paying the players too much money, Southside?
Oh, you could see if a TV deal collapsed. You know, you've seen the state of clubs before because they've tried this fair play thing and that, but it's a joke. You know, there's certain teams just manipulated the system, and UEFA or FIFA is not big enough to actually do something about it. They threaten to do it, and then they don't do it usually, or they do it to a smaller team. I think they've done it to Galatasaray or something. But when they could have done it to maybe a Barcelona or a Real Madrid, Chelsea were in that bracket at one point. There's been loads of clubs. So it's something we'll just have to live with, mate. And it's just the way it's going to be.
Stevie.
2 words. Harry Maguire. 80 million quid. Aye. The game's been ruined by money. Look at the state of Barcelona. What are they? 200-300 million pound in debt. You know, it's just, and as Southside,
over $1 billion, Stevie.
Over $1 billion.
Over £1 billion in debt. Barcelona.
I wasn't even close. There you go. So the bottom line is, Alec, for me, Southside hit it. For a fan, Southside hit the nail on the head when they said the times a kick-off. Sky's predicting and BT's predicting when we're going to games, you know, Sunday night, 6 o'clock, up at wherever. You know, it's ruined with money. It's rich, and most of it's greed. Let's be honest. Most of these clubs are just greedy. They try to break away and start a Super League, and it all fell flat in its face. But if you can imagine that went ahead, where would that have left the rest of the clubs?
I don't think that's been away, Stevie. I really don't.
Oh, aye, but it's just greed with most of them. You know, the rich are getting richer and the poor are just staying where they are.
Are they? Because there's not much money flowing out. Their income might be going up, but there's that much money flowing out the game. Alex?
Yep, definitely. The football agents is taking a lot of money out of the game. I think the John Mark Bosman case all the years ago when they decided player movement, I think that's got an influence in the game as well, because the smaller clubs used to rely on the big transfer money, you know, for a few seasons. It would keep them going. But now they don't have that because players can run down their contract i.e. Connor Golson, might be doing that very thing to us, but he's got that freedom of movement that he can, just basically take a wage out of your club. We invest into him. We take him off his sick bed at Brighton when his career was going nowhere. We re-galvanise him, and then he shows absolutely zero loyalty just to possibly move on. But that's a typical footballer.
We've done the same. We've done the same with Andy Phillips, Player of the Year, John Lundstrom.
I love that last night. You backed him into a corner and he couldn't even say his name. He just said, "That Scouse guy."
To be fair, it's quite a long name. He struggles with big words, Andy, doesn't he? So
that was hilarious last night. That was hilarious. That Scouse guy.
It's a great question, mate, and I think there's a lot of pluses and minuses. The more successful you're getting, Southside, ultimately the merit will cost the fan.
Aye, mate, 100%. Just seen the cost as well, getting into stadiums for away games in Scottish football. It's on the up and up. Was it, Stevie, £30, wasn't it, for Dundee?
30 quid for a ticket.
30 quid. Aye, so, I mean, you've got that cost involved that the clubs are probably putting it on because Rangers are in town, innit? But aye, mate, that's the effect. And like we've all said, different kick-off times. There was a time back, a wee while back, there used to be 6:05 kick-offs, if you remember.
Oh.
Now it's usually a Sunday. Obviously, with the games on a Thursday and we're in Europe, we'll have to accept the Sunday. But we've got a game against Motherwell coming up. I think it's on Sky and it's a 12 o'clock kick-off, So that's what we're having today. So you're having to change your Sunday just to make sure, if you're lucky enough to get a ticket, that you can get to the game.
It's a struggle, right, for church, isn't it?
Can I just say something?
Yes.
What we've got to remember is too, Alex, when Murray was the chairman, we all spent some amount of dough with him and we all lapped it up. We're winning league after league and everything else. So, I mean, we did enjoy a period where we were the big kiddies and we were spending money, you know what I mean? And we were one game away from the European Cup final if it wasn't for Marseille cheating us out it. So it's similar to what's maybe happening now, but only we're no one of the big teams, you know what I mean? But Murray, it's definitely ruining the game.
Can I just correct you in one point there? I think we are one of the big teams. We just don't happen to play in a big league, mate.
That's it, aye. Yep.
Yes, mate.
I was just in... my line of thinking was, as I say, that my dad would tell us stories about the teams that he'd watched in the 60s and the 70s, and obviously we were getting to European Cup semis and Cup Winners' Cup finals, and getting to regularly into latter stages of competition. I just think the romance of actually winning a European competition is basically dead now for a lot of teams across Europe. I mean, Ajax were an amazing team. Feyenoord were an amazing team. Benfica's and that. Even I remember, I think Mechelen in Belgium, I think, got to European stages later competition. And I also think actually it's affected international football as well. I get back to watching the great Brazilian teams, and you used to go into the World Cups and you didn't know like a Socrates or an Aider or guys like that, because they played most of their football in their own country. Now a lot of the Brazilian, South Americans are all infiltrated right across Europe because of the attraction and money that they're getting paid. So when you see them in an international competition, you're no surprised at what they bring to the table now.
I'll pass you to a Brazilian expert, Southside.
I thought Fox was coming in there.
Alex, you're right. A lot of them go to Russia and that and play in Russia, but a lot of them go to Portugal, didn't they, if they don't stay in their own country? A lot of them go there. But it's a side of the times, mate. If you're going to be half decent and you're getting a chance to move and you're getting a decent contract, you're going to go into it. That's just the way it is. And it's the same as what Ox says. We've managed to get players that have ran down their contracts, and we've managed to get them to Ibrox. And if Connor Golston doesn't sign, I think this will be the time I think we'll know, Alex. He's got his chance now. There's a good 10-day window. So if he's prepared to sign, then I think this might be the time that he might do the contract. And if he doesn't, then I think the writing's on the wall. I've said on here, I think he'll work his ticket. Fair play to him. If that's what he wants to do, that's what he'll do.
Is it some gamble, mate?
Well,
if he was to have a freak accident, any kind of accident, I'm not saying necessarily in the park, and then he's out of contract to us in 9 months, and then no signed with anybody else, you're gambling when there's big bucks sitting in front of you, innit?
It's a big gamble. I think if he's approached in January, or he knows he might be getting approached in January, then he's probably willing to take that chance. He doesn't take a serious injury. And then Rangers will have a decision to make. A lot of people might think, right, empty him, don't play him. You've got to look at the big picture here. He's not my favourite player, right? I think he'd a wonder season. I think he does all right. There's always a mistake in him. But the big picture for us as a club is to win that league. So whether he is going to be there next season or no, will not make any difference. If we win that league, we're going into the Champions League, and hopefully that will release funds for Stevie G to go out and buy better than Connor Golston.
Great question, great point you made there. I'm going to go around the panel, come to you last bit. Southside raised Connor Golston, right? I'm just using him as an example. Stevie, can he take us to the next level?
It's a hard one for me. I would say aye, probably could, aye.
All right, okay, I'll go to our centre-half expert. Bridgeman?
I think he could, but it's not guaranteed. But I think he could. I agree with Stevie. There's a good chance that if he gets his head right, there's something wrong with his head at the moment, according to this, what's happening with him. He'll get that sorted out, and he could take it. Apart from anything else, what an opportunity to be involved and take us to the next level. But fantastic. For everyone, including himself, fantastic.
Okay. AK?
For me, no. I don't think he's got it in him to get us to the next level, because as Southside admitted there, he's always got a mistake in him. I think if he is playing hardball and he's got that 2-week window and he's still not signed and determined to see it out to January, I would be bringing Katic back and drop him to the bench and see out the rest of his contract on the bench.
We can't bring Katic back to January.
Yeah, but I think we've got the option though, haven't we?
In January, Christmas time, we've got the option now.
Yeah.
We can him back to January. I've not really read much about what he's doing. Stevie?
Can I just say on Connor Golston, look at the season he had last season.
Huh?
He was absolutely out of this world, by the way. I know a lot of people will say it was a one-half season, and Southside is right. He has got a mistake in him. But tell me a defender that's not got a mistake in him. They're very few and far between it, you know. The way I see it is, I seen Connor Golston last season, and he's definitely a good player, man. And if he had another, if he could get his wee bit of nerves and that mistake away, I think he could take us to the next level. Him and Hollander are a good pair. It's just a pity Hollander's injured now, but I think they could take us to the next level, even playing with a better player than Hollander if we managed to sign him. I think that could tell from a game, but everybody's got a different opinion. But I don't think the guy's doing anything wrong. What he's doing with his contract, I think he wants to stay at Rangers, but it's his last big payday as a player in my eyes, and it's more or less his agent. It's drawing it out to see what kind of money he can get for the boy himself.
Stevie, according to Gerrard, I think he put a good contract down on the table to him. That's Gerrard's words.
Aye, but that contract might be half the money he's getting, including signing on place and down south, and that's still the league they've got. You know what I mean? Right, okay, we'll hear what Southside's got to say.
I don't think he takes us to another level. That's just my own personal opinion. He had a good season last year. The whole team had a wonder season last year. That's what we've got to remember. The whole lot of them. We had a wonder season. It's about kicking on for then. You forget last season, you're looking at the here and now. No, I think we can get better than Connor Golston, to be honest. So I would look to move on. If he doesn't want to sign, then he'll go when he goes. I don't think we freeze him out. I think you've got to look at the big picture, and if he doesn't sign and his form's all right, then I think you play him, because at the end of the day, the biggest prize is winning that league. So if you upset the apple cart and you maybe drop him or whatever, Alex, it might upset the team. It's all right saying bring Katic back, but if Katic comes back and doesn't play well, if he's playing in the unit and he knows the system, and we've got to remember, right now we're struggling for centre-backs. In my opinion, Jack Simpson will need to come in at some point over the next 5-6 games, because you can't go into playing 3 games a week and expect it to be Golston and Balogun week in, week out. I don't see that happening.
Southside, what did you think of the defence in Europe when Golston was there?
Aye, I know what you're saying, but Hollander wasn't there as well, Stevie. You know, you've got to remember that. We had our 2 centre-backs out. I just think he's no quick enough. Quick strikers nick by him. If you look, you'll see how many bookings he'll pick up in this Europa League if he's fit and he's playing. We've got Bromby, a double header, then we've got Sparta. I'll be surprised if he doesn't get 2 or 3 bookings in the games, because he gets caught with pace. In Scotland, he gets away with it for some of the time. You look at the goal against Hibs, mate. He's ball watching. He should be tracking this, but you can maybe blame Lundstrom a wee bit. But he was caught ball watching when Barisic let the boy get the cross in. He was in no man's land. He should have been picking up the striker. The striker is Nisbet, you know. So he's got that in his game.
His man, mate. It was his man. Right, okay, I'm going to bring a hammer down. I think we've got a 2 each here. I'm going to go with the pew of Southside and AK. I've enjoyed Connor Golston, but I think you've got to, better never stops, and you've got to strive to get better.
Yep. Oh, well, I take it Alec Kelly's got an apron or all then, huh?
How did you guess that?
Only when he's doing the dishes.
I was going to say, like cooking.
I don't like getting beat at Ent. I'm a Glasgow Rangers fan.
Oh, listen, I accept your point, and Golston has been excellent for us, yeah? And I think we're talking about going to the next level and competing even better and getting better results. Maybe we're talking about here, we're talking about in Europe, Stevie, yeah?
Aye. The thing for me is with Golston, he gets the club, Ox. He gets what it means. You know what I mean? He knows what it's all about. You bring somebody else in, and how long is it going to take them? You know?
That's a gamble, aye.
You need to spend big. You need to spend big to get better than Golston. If we get that real money, would it be paid for Golston 3.5?
Something like that, aye.
So that's been paid back long ago. Paid back.
He's got appearances, and he's obviously he's been part of the 55 squad. I get all that, Stevie, and I don't disagree with one bit of it. But the question was to get us to the next level.
Aye. Well, for spending money, you can get better. Yes, 100%.
Aye, but it's what only time will tell what will happen. You know, only time will happen. It'll be interesting, because we are. I think Southside was on around about August, if my memory serves me right. He was talking about we desperately need centre halves, and I think it was Fox and Bridgeman poo-hooed him, but he's proved to be right.
Yeah, I did, mate. I mentioned that. I thought we should have went for an centre back.
We poo-hooed him.
Do you want the truth, Bridge? I just made that bit up.
I think the way we are now, you look at the squad, like I said, I don't see Balogun and Golston playing every week. I mean, I know they could, but you've got to remember, we've got Balogun's away in international duty, right? He's going to come back, and then we're into a reschedule, and then we're hitting European games, and it'll be back to 3 games a week. So Jack Simpson will need to come into the defence at some point, and I'm just hoping when he comes in, but with this break, I'll give him a chance. He said, I look for the outside, and he said a wee sample. He's looked a bit shaky at times. Don't think he's been as bad as a lot of people have made out. I think he's an easy target. Bridge, you've said physicality and all that. Aye, he got pushed off the ball slightly against Motherwell at times, but he's played in the Premiership and he's played in the League One in England, and you can't tell me they're no tough down there. So it's not just that. It's just about settling in, and if we're playing well, it's easier for a player to come into the team and join in. We're changing the team about, different players in the team, and trying to integrate him into the centre defence as well. So I think we'll have to use him going forward in the next month or two. And I'm hoping that when he gets his chance and he comes in, he does well for us, you know.
It'll be interesting to see how it pans out. I'm just going to check what age Connor is. Do you any think, and AK, you started this one, do you think it could be the length of contract that maybe he's wanting a 4-year deal and we're maybe wanting 2 years with an option, you know?
I think sorry. On you go, Bridge.
I was just going to say, if there's anything like that, then the club has got to give in. They've got to give him what he wants. Give him that extra year. I would suggest that with him. But it doesn't sound like it.
I just think we've got to protect our asset there. You know, we've invested a fair bit of money for us going into the Golson situations. I say bringing him to Brighton where he wasn't even featured. I mean, the Derry Donkey was playing in front of him, you know, and we brought him up here and galvanised his career. We've made him a Scottish champion. We've put him on the European platform. You know, give something back. Even if you do want to go to England, at least sign a year's contract then, shows we're getting a transfer fee for him rather than let him go for nothing.
Can you come, Bridge?
Alec, can I ask you, you said that it's apparently got a good deal put down. And what was the rumour of a good deal? What was it?
Gerrard said at the start of the season, Stevie, that the club have offered him a great deal. But he didn't go into details on it, but he just says it's a great deal. And he's very hopeful of him signing it. So I don't know what the deal is. Obviously, that's private between him and the club. But I've seen the kind of wages that he's on now. He's meant to be on 25, so I would be thinking he's on like 35, but he wants 50. That's the kind of rumours. And if he's wanting 50 grand a week, I don't think he's worth that.
No, that's not going to happen. No, I don't think the fans would put up with that either. His last couple of performances have not been at his best.
No, but there lies the problem, right? If you're going to offer him and you're going to bring somebody in at, say, £40,000 a week and you're going to pay $7 million for him, that's the riddle. It's costing you more money than keeping Connor Golson, and you don't know what you're getting.
I know. Well, I'm with you, Ox. I think it's all about the length of time of the contract. I don't think it's about the money. I think the money's good that he's getting offered, but I think it's what you said. He's wanting 5-year or 4-year, and Rangers are only wanting to give him 2. You know what I mean? I think that's a stumbling block. I would say that's more reality than anything else. 50 grand, I don't think that's reality at all. I really don't. But listen, players are pushing their luck these crazy days this time. You know, where we earn football and the money and the wages and everything else is just went dual alley in my eyes. But I just think...
Stevie, you know the situation that Golson finds himself in, the fans are going to turn in and say, is this guy, what's happening with this guy? Is it greed? And if it is, in any way, shape or form, if the fans start to think it's greed, they'll turn against him and they won't care what happens to him. They just won't care.
I don't know if they'll turn against him as long as we're winning, Bridge.
No. Look, the thing is, we've failed quite badly in Europe, in the European areas, because Golson, one, he was unavailable, and 2, he maybe been injured, or 3, he doesn't actually, he's no in it because of the contract situation. Connor Golson needs to get it sorted out himself as well. There's a lot of onus on both sides. Actually, I'm being a fan sitting up in Scotland, that's what I see. I see one of the best centre-halves in Scotland, absolutely no doubt about it, probably the best centre-half in Scotland, and he's getting wasted, and he's wasting his own career. Now, if he thinks for a minute that he can walk down and walk into an English Premier team at a level anywhere above us,
I don't think it's about walking into an English Premiership team. The trouble is that they'll be paying maybe double the wages for
of
somebody.
course, I'm saying that, yes. I understand. But from a player perspective, I don't think he'll last 10 minutes in the top levels of English football. I don't see it.
Yeah, but he can if he gets a 3-year contract, mate.
Oh, no, I 100% agree. It's all up to him. And
He's 29. He's 29 in December. 29 in December, yeah.
Yep,
You know,
so he's looking for a last big payout, isn't he? You know, I don't think it's the money. I really don't. I think it's the length of the contract. I think it's better that. And what Bridge was saying there about him missing in Europe, well, that was what you saw on state. It was COVID related. So he's not at fault, the club's not at fault, sort of thing. So, and by the way, we fairly did miss him because we had a makeshift 2 centre halves, didn't we? And for me, it didn't work. But listen, as I said, I get back to Oxy's original thing was that he reckons that it's the length of the deal that's probably the stumbling block. I would say so too. But you're totally right, Bridge. If we weren't winning, the fans would start turning on him because they would want him a yin or you. Are you playing for us? You know, see if you want away, my attitude is, see when they want away, let them go. Don't keep them. That's my attitude. But I don't think that's the case. I just think it's the length of the contract because he's 29.
100%. There's only a few of us here who are a microcosm of what the Rangers support is, and I would suggest it could be evenly split. That people think it's one type of contract, and the others might think there's something no right about what it is he wants. And the first thing they're going to say is let him go. If a player wants to go, let him go. There's no any good to us. The problem is, does he want to go for this reason or that reason? Is it the club is being a bit obstropulous on the length of contract type thing? Then get back around the table and discuss it, see what we can do. Because he's got quality. For us, in our league that we play in, he's a quality player.
It depends how long he's got. I mean, he's played some amount of football for us in the last 3 and a bit years, Southside, so you don't know how long that's going to continue for, you know?
He's apart from COVID-related issues, mate, he's been pretty robust for us and Stevie G's. Do you know the interesting thing I noticed on Saturday? And I didn't notice it until I'd seen it on the telly later. Gerrard passed him on the park, and all he done was tapped him on the back.
He did, I seen it.
Did you notice that, Stevie? Right? You know,
yep.
So
he hugged everybody else, and he just tapped them.
Aye,
Yep.
so, but that's just a wee side issue. Like you said, Bridge, I don't know what he's looking for, money, contract. It's obviously, there's both in there in the length of time, but as Alex was saying, Alex, I think if he doesn't want to sign, I think he'll probably still play him. Because like I said, the big picture's to win this league. And then we'll get the kudos of money. And whether Connor Goldson will probably, if we make the Champions League, Connor Goldson will not be there. And if he thinks he can get a better deal in England, then fair enough. He's probably repaid his then, because that is the main priority, the league title. If he changes his mind and he decides to sign, that's why I said there's a 10-day window here. And I'd like to think he knows what the offer is. It's been put in front of him. And now I think the time is to see, are you going to sign? And if he isn't signing, I think then he'll probably be off in January, but there might be a pre-contract in.
Could be, mate. I mean, obviously, if you become silly, if somebody's going to sign for nothing and you get £1 million to let him go early, you've got to think long and hard about it, haven't you?
100%, mate. Aye. It's just the way football goes now, mate, isn't it?
Aye.
Oh, so how many games has Goldson played for us? Is it must be touching the league?
174 or something like that.
Oh.
I don't know. I need to check that out, but I'm not sure. About 170, 74. Albert said he's played 2 good games. 176 games he's played, yeah. Right. 54, 52, 56 and 14 this season.
Just a couple of hand Ryan Jack then.
Aye. Do you know, it's quite an interesting stat. Never came on as a sub. when you think of all the subs and all the numbers of people on the bench now in modern football, that's quite an interesting stats outside there.
Aye, I think Stevie G keeps him as the spine of the team, doesn't he? You know, and he has been good last season. I'm not going to take it away from him. I don't want any Rangers player not to play well. You want them to succeed in that, but it's getting to this point now, and I just think if he goes, he goes. Nobody's bigger than the club, you know. No. So at the end of the day, if he chooses to leave and he gets a deal somewhere else, then good luck to him. He's been no bad for us over the period of the 3-4 years he's been here. So, and like I said, if we win this league, we're going into the Champions League. If he's helped us achieve that, then so be it.
Hi, interesting stuff. Who asked that question? Good question.
If he goes, we'll sign Portis.
Oh, Bridge, you'll need to give him a call.
Get Bridge up a player.
Stop swearing on the show, for goodness sake.
Get yourself on mute. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yes, just let your mate for Leeds know you've got to read a full email, Mr. Kelly, not just the first line, okay?
He was panicking. He was panicking. Oh no, they're not giving me tickets. Oh, I don't believe that.
Yes.
You need to let the viewers, you need to let the listeners know what you've done. That was fantastic. Brilliant.
Come on out with it. Let us know.
Come on, you keep the totty for Lanzarote at tight. We've got to keep him at tight tonight.
Aye, come on, you're right, Stevie. Keep it tight.
I knew he would only read the first line, Alex. I knew it.
Oh, I know. Aye, he's not too bright, or Andy. You know, the wheel's turning, but the hamster's dead.
Me having a hamster.
Oh dear. No, I don't know if I could read that out. Wouldn't it be fair on him? I just might do it.
Can I say, last night, obviously, the issues with Facebook and that, but we actually listened to Rangers Radio through YouTube last night for the first time, and got to say, really enjoyed all the chat with everybody in there, and obviously heard Ian in the call, and he's well appreciated and well got, but I got Andy a couple of belters last night too. I didn't come in as my own name. I came in as Kelso, and I was getting a bit tight in the feed, and he didn't have a clue it was me. He was texting me, he's like, "Who is this Kelso boy? I think I've upset him."
He came on
didn't have a clue it was me.
By the way, I'm going to be honest. The man up here, I think we should take the tickets off him for the race nights outside.
Oh, aye, definitely. Yeah, don't be putting up with that. Carry on, will we, Stevie?
Definitely no. Listen, tell Andy his tickets are away to Big Kelso.
Oh my God, you've started a battle.
Oh dear, poor Andy, getting it tight. But sometimes you're due it.
You give him a shock, he's less better.
Oh, Shock's a gentleman. Don't know what happened there, you know what I mean?
I know.
You know, but anyway, right, okay, where were we? Right, okay, right. Look at the wrist, right. So, look, I asked a question, where are we this time of the season? Who was your player of the season? Southside, it's not been great, but where are we?
Well, we're where we should be. Top of the league. There's not been great performances. It's like we said, it's a mix and a match. I think McLaughlin, McGregor have been pretty no bad since the season started. And I think Balogun, since the game against him at Ibrox when he was put in at right back, he's kicked on a bit for then. Scott Wright, I was going to talk about him there, mate. I thought in the weekend he was busy at times without being in and out the game, a bit like Hadji. So we're looking for performances for them when they're in, but where we are now, we're top of the league, and we know we've got better performances to come, and that's the thing to look forward to. You know, that we'll hopefully start playing better, mate. To be honest.
All right, Stevie.
Oh, for me, I'm in a happy place. I think we're in a happy place. We're top of the league, 6 away for them. But at the international break, we've got players coming back from injury. I think we're in a good place. It really helps. You know, if you ask me at the start of the season, but this international break, we're top of the league and 6 clear of them, I'm well delighted. And my player of the year so far, if you're asking me, would be Big Balogun. He's been absolutely brilliant, the big man. You know, all right, again, you get back to he's got the wee odd pass, it doesn't go, or he doesn't do something right, but he certainly grows into games, and he put wee Thiago still in his back pocket, the Celtic game. It was absolutely phenomenal, that game.
Aye, Balogun. I think I would go jointly between the two goalkeepers. I think they've been most consistent all season. Yeah, I think other people have played in starts. Conor Golson's in some decent games. Balogun's at the decent game a couple of times, particularly the game against them. Morelos has done all right in some games, but they've also had poor games. I mean, you think of Connor playing at Dundee, for instance, but the goalkeeping department has been my strongest position for me all season. Bridgeman?
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. I can't disagree with this season. I think the last couple of games that we'd seen with Golson, the last game there when he played, it was a lot better than it had been the previous 2 games. And that might have been an illness or something wrong with it, but I can't say too much. But yeah, I agree that other players have been the better players for us, and particularly the goalkeepers. They've been excellent. I agree with you. I have to agree with you. It's really, really good. My favourite this year coming on and up to the last game there, I think Lundstrom has been tremendous for us. He's built up, slow build up.
The Scouse lad?
The Scouse lad. That Scouse get. No, I think what an impact he's had. And it's a slow build up for him, and it looks great. But yeah, I agree that there's a lot been marvellous for us. It's been great.
Alex?
I agree with most of these. I think on reflection, there was a guy made a great point last night on Radio Clyde. I thought we had a period last year between December, January and early February where we played 14 games, we drew 4 and we won 10. See the 10 games, we won with 1 goal. You know, you think back to it, Ryan Jack's volley for the edge of the box against Kilmarnock. We beat St Johnstone 1-0. We beat Hibs 1-0. You know, with a collection of games, we're only winning with 1 goal. And I think that's what we're doing now. We're not playing great, but we're winning. And it's all about winning. See, when you look at the league table at the end of the year, you don't reflect on, how did we play at Dundee? It'll just say 3 points and victory. And that's what it's all about. That's what gets you the league titles. Winning when you're not playing particularly well. I think we've been ravished this year a wee bit with, a good bit with COVID, but we were relatively untouched until the latter stage of the season. There's been suspensions with Ruth and Kamara in Europe, and obviously some certain injuries. But the fact that we're still top of the table and we're no hot or straps yet, I think the rest of Scottish football should be very worried about that. Because see, when they start playing well, we know what we're capable of. And this year we're actually positive because we're into the semi in the League Cup, where this time last year we were out it. You know, so I think we've got a great chance of winning a treble this year, guys. I really do.
All right.
My player of the season, by the way, I'm going to surprise you, even though Lundstrom, I'm a big supporter of Lundstrom, but I think Hadji's been very instrumental when he's been available this year.
You're breaking up, Alec. You're breaking up.
Did I just drop out the call there?
Breaking news, there's another 10 tickets gone spare for the race night. I don't get it, mate. I really don't. I mean, Hadji, the last game at Ibrox, I thought him and Wright weren't awful, but they weren't great. I thought Hadji was non-existent, and the 45 or 60 minutes he was on in Europe. And then I think against Dundee, he was appalling, in my opinion. You know, I don't get it. He turned the game against Livingston in the cup. Aye, I'll say that. Aye.
Yeah. I just think he brings an inventiveness to a play that we don't have when he's not there.
He made a pass in the first minute that I don't know if any other players can make in the first minute of the game on Saturday. I don't know, right in front of your eyes, Southside, yeah?
Aye, it was it was an amazing pass. I agree with you, Ox, to a point as well, and I agree with Alex. He's not been probably our best, but I like Hadji. I mean, you can see what he's got and you can see what he brings. He just doesn't bring it for the 90 minutes if he starts. But in certain games, when Gerrard kept him on and took off Aribo and Kamara, but I'd said on here last week, I just think they're tired, you know. We've went the well too often for them. But he kept Hadji on, hoping that he would do something. And obviously, when he went across the box, I thought he's going to finish this, and it was a good save for the goalkeeper. But it wasn't, Alex, he was in and out the game in Dundee, and he was disappointing, and obviously he changed the game against Livingston. So I agree with what Ox is saying, but he's certainly a player that it can bring a spark to our teammate, definitely.
Would you say Sorry, Ox.
Sorry, Alex, I've never done.
I was just going to say, would you say Hadji's improved for he came to us?
Aye, he's tougher now. Aye, but he's more tougher now. He was powder puff when he first came, and I think he's toughening up a wee bit now. I think he's realising it's a lot tougher. Well, in that sense, his football ability, you'd argue the point, couldn't you?
I think he just lacks pace. If he had pace, Stevie, we wouldn't have got him, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? If when he was playing abroad and he had the pace and that, he'd have went to another club, you know. But we've got him. We've got to enjoy him. I mean, it's all right picking holes in him. He's a young boy. He doesn't play.
He's 22, sir.
Aye, 22. But he's came to us, and we're playing him probably in a different position to what he normally plays. Sometimes you watch wee clips, and I see him sometimes playing for Romania, and he looks a different player. He picks up fouls round about the edge of the box. The only thing he really lacks is pace, and probably he drifts in and out of a game. He's very a luxury player, Alex Kelly, I think. You know, he's a wee bit more a luxury player. Would you not say that?
Europe suits him better, I think.
I would.
From the Turner corner.
Europe does suit him. I think it's Bridgman's. I'd agree. I'd agree.
The first time on the show, Bridge, yeah?
It makes a change, Andy, for Leeds.
Oh, well, we can't cut him. Bridge is on big money. We can't cut Bridge. We can cut Andy.
I just got a text asking his Bridge's ticket up for grabs now.
Who wants it, Hadji?
He's at the top table, surely.
And Paul McGregor and Facebook says he'll take your tickets off you, Alex, if you're going to come out with more comments like that. Right, okay, I've been saying that. Aye, look, listen, I've never doubted Hadji's ability. I think he has to start acting a bit more consistent to his game, and he has to learn that if you're not playing well, there's certain runs that you have to still make. I agree with Southside, he lacks a bit of pace, but I'm just bitter because he beat me and I was second place for that remaining Gillette advert, you know.
Guys, what about Kamara? What about Kamara and Aribo going after? Do you think that helped the momentum of our play after that? What I mean is,
we were up for tempo and we were more adventurous, and then we got the winner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I thought.
I don't know. You thought Southside?
Aye, the tempo seemed to go up. Kamara's maybe a player that recycles the ball and stuff like that, and then we get the ball. You know, Hibs were down to 10 men. It made sense to take one of them off. I mean, I've said, and I'll say it again, I think they were just tired. And the thing is, they're going to go away in international duty now and they're coming back, so they're not going to get much rest, and we need to ask them to go again. So he might they might pick and choose him in and out the team depending on how he sees it going forward there the next wee while. I think that's something that he's alluded to. We need a bit of freshness in the team, you know, and whether that's going to be maybe Bacuna. I think if Bacuna comes into the team, I think he could maybe play left side of midfield for Kamara. But that's just my own opinion. But I don't think he's ready to play week in, week out, you know.
I've got across you. We've been joined just at the death by Ian. How we doing, Ian?
I'm alright, how are you?
Aye, good, mate. What's
Ian.
on your
Aye,
mind?
Ian.
I've been trying to find out down below in the comments, but nobody seems to know.
Right.
I've been asking is RR on every night, even though the internationals is coming on.
Ian, are you asking us to put a show on Monday to Friday for now till the football comes back?
Aye,
We'll do that for you, mate.
magic, absolutely magic.
Don't tell anybody else, but it's a secret, all right?
Right, just a secret.
Aye,
Secret between me, you, and everybody that's listening.
aye, that's it, mate. We'll be on every night. We'll be on every night, Monday to Friday. And Friday's show's a special, by the way.
All right.
Aye, a special. That right, Southside?
Aye, mate, that's going to be special, all right. Aye.
I'm dreading to ask, so I won't bother.
Right, so we're on Monday to Friday, 8 till 10. Yes, and we're seeing, but always try to get some guests on during the international break, but sometimes it's not that easy, yeah?
Right. Just to let you a wee update, I'm going for an MRI scan to 9 miles tomorrow to see how far or how fast or slow my vascular dementia has moved. I don't know.
Right,
So,
fingers crossed for me. We'll all be thinking about you tomorrow, mate, all right?
so I'm just hoping. I have got a bit worse because I've taken everything down in a notepad. Every single conversation I have with somebody. And when I come back, I'll go to write down who I've spoke to and what I've spoken about.
You remembered all the incidents for the football last night?
I remember all about Rangers. I'll never forget any of that. plus, I did a wee bit here before I go. I was on that, what is it, PLZ or something?
Right.
I'm on there to listen to it, as I call it, the Three Tims pod, because that's basically what it is.
Right.
And I mean, it was just full of vile on there the day with all the Celtic fans, you know what I mean?
Don't worry.
No, I wasn't worried. I get torn about them, and there were a few down below in the comments were saying you done brilliant today. I mean, they were saying things that were unbelievable, and I'm going, I wouldn't have load them all. How many bottles do you drink a day? Do you know what I mean? It's like,
just say the word. I'll get the Mitchell sisters round to help you out, all right?
Yeah, I've got a sniper lined up.
Right, Ian, we're going to wrap the show up, but aye.
Right, no problem. I'll go to now and thanks for what I'm doing again. Thanks a lot, boys.
Speak to you soon, yeah?
All the best, Ian.
All the best, Ian.
Right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Right, what a smashing man. Well, Stevie, Southside, we've reached that time of the evening. 2 hours have disappeared. Where did they go?
Brilliant. Fantastic night again. The chat's been brilliant. And Southside said that if he needs the SAS, Stevie and Southside, we'll be there for him. No problem.
Yes, here. Southside?
Aye, mate. I thoroughly enjoyed the night. Good chat, good laugh. Enjoyed being on with Stevie and Bridge. So, aye, mate. Thoroughly enjoyed that. And look forward to a special show on Friday.
Here. Alex, you can have a wee shout out for your mate.
No, no problem. I was just going to say the SAS. It's more like hailing pace.
Oh my God!
Here you, Totty. Don't you start. Stevie, sort him out. Get the motor in, Stevie.
Oh dear.
I enjoyed the show, guys. Thanks for having me on.
There could be an extra 14 tickets gone, 10 spare and 2 in the jail. Right. Cheers, Alex. Thanks for having you. Good to always Andy getting it tight. Deserves it sometimes. Just sometimes.
Oh, aye.
And it's over to you, Bridgman.
Well, what can I say? What a fantastic evening. Absolutely fantastic. Well done, everybody. And a big thank you to Big Stevie and the Southside for helping me out in the presentation. Just loved it. Every minute. It was absolutely great. What a lovely night. Well done, Oxdale. Well done to all your team. And that's what I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio. Every single one of us. Wonderful to be here and still be top of the league. Fabulous. Keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers always need us. Keep it going.
Yeah. Thanks to Alex. Thanks to Ian for popping in. And of course, it was great to hear. Sad and doleful tidings, but it was great to hear from Bob J. And I hope everything works all right for Bob J. And I hope, fingers crossed, that everything goes well for Ian, our YouTube listener. Thanks to Alex Keller for joining us. Stevie and Big Southside for taking the time to join us on the panel. Bridgeman, of course, and Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. But we'll be joined by Jaffa and Linda. Thanks for listening. Stay safe. Take it away, Old School Blue.
The English have Charlton, the Irish George Best, the Welsh have Big Davis, you know, Ken of Rest. Let the French win the Derby, let the Yanks have the moon, but leave me the Rangers, the pride of the toon. They're the idols of Scotland, and each game they play, they try and they fight till the end of the game. When victory's theirs, in my heart they will ring this chorus. I hope that you'll help me to sing. It's Rangers, it's Rangers, it's Rangers for me. If you know a Ranger, you know used to me. The heads and the hearts and the thistle are proud, but they can't beat the Rangers, the pride of them all. From home all the range up to Bonnie Dundee, just singing this chorus and soon they'll agree. It's Rangers, it's Rangers, it's Rangers for me. So here's to the lads in the royal blue, and here's to the lasses who follow them too. I don't want the hips, the hearts or the cells, I wish them the